What's up everyone, welcome back to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron and it is time to talk about some new music. We're going to be going over some of the new releases coming out throughout the week of September 30th. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on what I think we can expect from some of this new stuff. It's going to be kind of a short video today because I'm only going to be going over albums since there wasn't really that much to really talk about anyways. But as always, if I miss out on something that you're looking forward to, please leave a comment below letting me know what it is. And while you're down there, also let me know what you want me to review next. And if you do that, you don't want to miss out on your requested review, or you just happen to like what you see here, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. But let's talk about some new music now. We get a new album from Slipknot titled The End so far, and I would be willing to bet that this is probably the most consistent metal band around. I mean, at least out of all the really big metal bands right now. I mean, can you think of another band that's been around for almost 30 years in this genre that still holds like their fan base from when they first came around? I mean, their last album, We Are Not Your Kind, was just so dark and it was so heavy and crisp. And I would be willing to say it was probably like on their second studio album, Iowa, is probably like on that level of intensity and brutality. And it was just so good while at the same time still very modern. So I feel like this new album is just going to continue that streak. I mean, they might have a dud, but I don't think they will after coming out with that album. It's just so good. And I feel like it's going to push them further into newer grounds while also still just sounding like Slipknot that the fans all love. We get a new album from Autopsy titled Morbidity, Triumphant, and I gotta admit, I've never really been a huge fan of this band. The first time I listened to them was from their album Severed Survival, and I mean, I guess some of the music was okay, but nothing really caught my ear. The vocals were they weren't good, the lyrics weren't really that good, and the music was just kind of okay. I've kind of viewed them as more of like, I don't know, like a parody band at that point, like when they first came around, and then they started to become a little bit more serious, I think, but it never really turned into anything for me personally. And over the years, I feel like they've just kind of kept the same sound. I mean, they've changed a little bit, but not really enough to win me over, and I feel like this new album is going to be basically the same thing they've always done with slightly better production. When I listened to the new single, I went back and I listened to a song off of Severed Survival, and it was basically the same thing. So I mean, if you love Autopsy, I feel like you'll love this album because it's the same thing that they've been doing for almost like 30 years or so, but they haven't changed that much. They haven't really evolved like at all. So this might be your thing. For me, who desires a little bit different from the band, it probably won't be it for me. Darkest Era is releasing a new album titled Wither on the Vine. This band is very unknown, but they're definitely a hidden gem within the metal community. They're like an Irish Celtic folk metal band that sings about mythology, and I'd be willing to say that they're like on the border, right on the edge of being more doom metal than anything else with clean vocals. I mean, it sounds so good. I highly suggest that if you're into something that's super atmospheric, has good storytelling, has good musical progressions, I mean, this is it. I feel like this new album is going to be probably their most atmospheric from what I'm getting from some of the singles. But if you really want to get into them and kind of feel out their sound, their 2014 album Severance is definitely a good place to start, and I can't recommend them enough. Dropkick Murphies is releasing a new album titled This Machine Still Kills Fascists. This is another band that hasn't really changed that much, but they also managed to stay consistent in just pumping out bangers. They're basically just a modern day Clash or Sex Pistols. So if you really like them, you're probably going to love this album because I don't think they're going to change their sound that much at all. They're still going to have that punk style, and the vocals are always going to be kind of the same sitting back in the mix. So this is another one where, yeah, if you love the Dropkick Murphys, you're probably going to love this album. If you don't like them, don't expect much of it to win you over because it's going to be the same thing they've always done. Pixies are releasing a new album titled Doggerel. I gotta admit, I haven't really listened to this band since like 2005, so I had to go back and listen to some of their like newerish albums, I guess. And they seem like they've evolved quite gracefully. I'm excited to hear this new album because they have like more of a modern sound, at least from what I've heard from the singles. but they have that certain flair to them that makes them sound like the Pixies, and the production has gotten a lot better. I mean, don't get me wrong, their production on their old albums are purposefully kind of like that, I guess. They're not super tight. They're not super compressed whatsoever. It's pretty rough around the edges and pretty raw, and they still hold that, but now it just comes in clearer. You can hear different things in the music a little bit more clear. Different stuff stands out, different things that they do. So I'm kind of excited to hear where they've come this far. I mean, they were kind of went on a hiatus for a little bit, and now they came back, I believe 2014, did some more albums. So yeah, this one, again, they're going to sound like the Pixies, but I'm pretty excited for this. Drowning Pool is releasing a new album titled Strike a Nerve. One of my friends went and saw them perform about 2 or 3 weeks ago up in Sacramento, and they said that they were great. They were so good live. But whenever I listen to this band, it sounds like they're trying to recreate their song bodies, which is what made them famous. I mean, it was featured on WWE SmackDown for a long time. Like, everybody knows that song. And whenever I listen to any of their new stuff, it has that same kind of stompy rhythm, has that same kind of riff, the same kind of drums. Even like that intro with that guitar swelling, they still use that same effect on a lot of their songs. And I get it, that's their sound, but it just sounds like they're trying to recreate that song that made them famous, so maybe they could become famous again. And it sucks because I feel like that turns a lot of people off because their newer stuff is heavy. I mean, the vocals are still just, they're still there. They're still so good. So, I mean, it sucks because they're kind of stuck in like the past a little bit. And I don't know if their goal is to recreate the popularity that they got with Bodies. But I feel like a lot of people just hear that and they're just like, I don't want to hear it. I feel like I've heard this song for the past like 20 years now and I don't want to hear it anymore. So it's kind of hard to give them a chance. But I feel like this new album, the singles are heavy. I mean, they're there. If you don't mind Drowning Pool with that guitar swelling and that same kind of stompy rhythm that they have, then I feel like this is going to be a banger. And that is it for New Music Friday. Like I said, there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So if I missed something that you're looking forward to, please don't hesitate to let me know what it is down below. And again, let me know what you want me to review next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing, ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out tremendously in this ever-changing YouTube algorithm system thing. And I appreciate you guys so much for taking time out of your day just to watch my video and listen to me talk. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time. I was